Hey everybody, it's Zach. Welcome back to Zach's Hero HQ. And guys, we are back again with another spoiler discussion for X-Men 97 Season 2, Episode 8, titled The Dead Man's Hand. Guys, great episode. This was a great episode. I can't wait to see everybody in here. I see we have 5 people in here. Welcome. Make sure to like the stream. We have lots to talk about. I cannot believe next week is the finale. Next week's the finale. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to see what they're gonna do next week. I'm just glad we're back on track. I know episode 7 for me, I was kind of like, yeah, it feels like we're kind of losing the bigger picture here. We're kind of like not focusing on the bigger picture because we had like 3 episodes where we really weren't focused on Apocalypse, but I feel like this episode really makes me feel happy that we're back on track, that I really do hope and feel and have more confidence now that the season is going to end very strong. I am confused about a couple of things about this episode, but we'll talk about it in terms of Apocalypse of it all. I am a little bit confused on some things, which hopefully you guys can clarify. You said, what's up? This was so good. This episode was so good, Terrell. It was a really, really good episode. This was a Rogue and Gambit focused episode. I'm just gonna say outright off rip, Gambit's back. Gambit is back in this episode. I'm not gonna lie, I was really worried they were gonna hold off Gambit until episode 9, but I'm glad to report they gave us Gambit in this episode, and it was awesome seeing him back. I forgot how much Gambit's been missed, like, from the roster of X-Men. He's been really missed. When I saw him, I was like, oh my god, like, I'm so glad he's back. I'm so glad he's back. Even if he was in shadow form, Gambit, I was like, it's just so nice to have Gambit back. And we got some more insight on it, and I want to talk about it. So Gambit did not kill Apocalypse as we all thought. Apocalypse is still in Gambit. I was wondering where they were going, because it did look like, and was it X-Force and the X-Men assumed, well, Gambit must have, Apocalypse just resurrected Gambit and thought, oh, you would be a horseman. No, it looks like Gambit killed Apocalypse, and that was a shocker to X-Force and the X-Men. So, but it turns out, no, Apocalypse did merge with Gambit. His soul or his mind went into Gambit, but I think Gambit's soul was still there, but Apocalypse went into Gambit's mind. So I'm a little bit confused on some things, on the idea of, is Apocalypse still in Gambit's mind, or is Apocalypse officially gone? Like, I am confused on that, and I do wonder if Apocalypse's mind is officially gone, where does that lead with the finale? Is it just going to be X-Force and X-Factor going after Gambit? That's my question, and I want to know what your guys' take is. Like, do you think Apocalypse's mind is still inside Remy, or do you think Rogue was able to destroy that part of Apocalypse and Remy, so it's now just Remy? Because I'm getting the idea of him turning back to kind of like normal, because he's normal color now. He's not, all shadowed out. He looks like looks normal now. My question is this just Remy now, and we're just wondering if he is going to make it through? Like, if his vital signs will go back to normal and he'll be just going back to being Gambit. Like, I have questions about that, because I don't know. I don't know how I feel if they are just now for the finale. It's just going to be X-Factor and X-Force working together to take Gambit, because they think it's still not Gambit, and they don't know that Rogue saved Gambit. So I don't know how I feel about all that. So I want to know from your guys' perspective, where do you guys think this is going? But I really was happy that we got back to the main plot of the Gambit and the Apocalypse of it all, of like Rogue's connection to Gambit, and her kind of like coming to this kind of conclusion that, oh, is this a good thing that Remy's back? Does it mean that my Remy is back? Like, can this mean that he can be saved? Like, she really was kind of like struggling, processing with the fact of like how she felt that Remy actually back. And this is one of the pictures I want to talk about, which right here is Kurt kind of comforting her about the idea that, you know, we have a second chance, that, you know, Remy is back. This is a good thing. That, you know, if the Apocalypse is kind of like shriveled up corpse showed us anything, is that, you know, Gambit's out there and he's on the right side of things. And, you know, Apocalypse really didn't know what he was in store for, but clearly he was in store. What Apocalypse was in store, what he was hoping for, which was taking over Gambit's mind. And they were hoping for Gambit's soul to still be intact, for there's something to grasp, they were hoping for something that they could kind of bring our Gambit back, that there was still some of Gambit still left there. If his soul was still in there, and his soul was still in there, and it yearned for Rogue. You know what I mean? It never faltered. You know, Gambit wanting to be with Rogue, and not letting death kind of get between them. I liked all that. I really liked all kind of like the messages behind it, that, you know, he wasn't gonna let Gambit wasn't gonna let death ruin this second chance he had with Rogue. Now, my question also is too about Gambit coming back, which, let's kind of just pull this image up. If we find out that this is like Apocalypse is still in there, that he's been hiding inside Gambit. My question is, was Gambit the one like driving? Like, was he the one driving? Essentially, what I mean by driving, like, was he the one saying these words to Rogue? Was he the one that, you know, he turned his old ex-girlfriend and his brother into heralds? You know what I mean? Or into, you know, kind of horsemen. Like, was he the one making those decisions? Was he doing all of this, and just Apocalypse was just hiding inside his mind and letting Gambit take over the wheel? Like, I want to know, in terms of, I'm going to put it in the perspective of, like, Bruce Banner. Like, it was Gambit being the Bruce Banner, driving the car, while Hulk was locked in the trunk, and the Hulk being locked in the trunk is Apocalypse? Or was Gambit the one locked in the trunk, the Bruce of it all, and Hulk was driving, Apocalypse was driving? Like, that's what I want to know. Because I am curious, like, because the words he was spewing to Rogue sounded like Gambit. It sounded like all of Gambit's intentions of, like, oh, I got brought back to life, I'm not going to use this second chance, and it being put to waste. I'm going to make you immortal, and we're going to live forever. We're not going to let death get between us ever again. That seemed like Gambit's words. It seems like Gambit's intentions. And we end up finding out through Gambit that Apocalypse actually found a love before. Fell in love before, but he got betrayed. But not before the love convinced Apocalypse to give a piece of himself to her, which makes her kind of like immortal and stuff, or have like celestial powers and stuff. And that's the jewel that's on her, is what Gambit wants to make Rogue immortal, so they can live forever. That seems like someone that just doesn't want. Like, it seems like Remy not wanting death to get between them. It seemed like Remy's actions, but I was confused. I'm like, well, why would Apocalypse go inside Remy for then Remy just to be the one controlling things? Like, that confused me. That's the part that kind of, like, I was like, I'm very confused by that. Like, why would he let Remy do these, control the body? Why wouldn't he want to control the body through the mind? See what I'm saying? That confused me majorly. Because then I thought to myself, why would you want to leave your body when your body was strong enough to take out, like, was it strong enough to take, I mean, mind you, it was a younger body, time travel and all, it's confusing. But why would you want to leave your body when you were able to take out Magneto, take out pretty much Charles with ease? Like, he has no, from what I'm understanding, is Apocalypse really does not have issues fighting Charles at all. And I don't know why'd you choose Gambit's body? Like, there's questions I still have. Like, why would Apocalypse choose Gambit's body? Why would Apocalypse let Gambit make the decisions in the body and not control Gambit's mind? Because I got no sense of Apocalypse controlling Gambit. So that's the thing I'm very confused about. Is I would think if you're going to go inside somebody and merge with somebody, you would have full control over the body. These weren't actions of Apocalypse. These were actions of Remy. So there is some nitpicks, I guess you could say, or just confusion, more like, I would say more confusion than nitpicks, but like, there's just still some answers I need answered, or questions I need answered, for me to make it make sense why Apocalypse chose Gambit's body and didn't choose, maybe even like, why wouldn't you? The thing I do wonder, which would have been interesting, is in this story, I feel like they could have done an Onslaught, and I feel like a lot of the people were from the concept art. I think it was of season 2 of Onslaught, or maybe it was season 3, or maybe it was an idea that they had initially to do Onslaught, was maybe, you know, was it Magneto dying, but not being like not being like atomized, and maybe, you know, Apocalypse going into Magneto or something, or I don't know. You know what I mean? Someone strong, because we do know Magneto's stronger than Gambit. Like, what are we doing? And then maybe resurrecting Gambit still and making him a Horseman. I feel like they're, and even like, you see what I'm saying? I feel like they could have done a different route, because I'm just struggling of it all, that there's stronger people than Gambit. Why'd you choose Gambit's like body to inhabit? I just have questions, because I think it's about the material warfare, about it all, and how Apocalypse got the idea from Rogue in the past. I guess like, because even Rogue said, I hope you can find love, and in a way he did, but it wasn't for love. You see what I'm saying? Like, I would think that, like, if you're gonna go with that talk with Gambit, I mean was it Nor and Rogue, have when they had that conversation around the fire, and at the end of episode, I think it was at the end of episode 3, when you have that conversation, and she was like, I hope you could find love for all of our sakes. It's in a way he did find love, but metaphorically you could say he found love with Gambit, I guess you could say, like, and how, like, she kind of said that, you know, I found Remy and stuff, and we found love, and you know what I mean, like, where there's also kind of, I guess you could say, loss and death. There's also like, that's what like love is, getting through all of like the hardships and things. Love conquers all. He found love. I was hoping that he would want to take over Remy's body to then maybe, like, in a way, kind of like resurrect his love, but in a way he wanted revenge on his love for betraying him. So it's like that falls through, that he's not doing it for love to get with love. He's just, I don't know. I really don't know. It doesn't really make sense to me. Maybe for me, maybe it's just me personally that's not making sense with. But it just doesn't make sense with me. Like, maybe it would have worked if he was trying to be with his love, but he got revenge on the person that betrayed him. Like, someone that he thought he loved betrayed him. So it's like, clearly no, it's not that. I don't know. And clearly he does not have, at least from my perspective, control over Gambit's body. He doesn't. Not until, like, my only essence of him feeling like he had control was when Charles, which I'm gonna see if I can find, if I have an image here. That's not it. That's a different image. We're gonna use this kind of like big kind of thing right here. We're gonna use this. When Charles was trying to separate Apocalypse's mind and Remy's soul, trying to separate the two. Like, was when he was trying to get Apocalypse and take Remy's soul out of Apocalypse. That made sense. I was like, okay, he's trying to separate them. I was like, okay, that makes sense, because but like the vessel now, I guess you could say, is Apocalypse, but the soul that yearns for Rogue is stronger than the body making the decisions, the mind making the decisions. So the soul of Remy's still in the body, which is now controlled by Apocalypse, but I didn't get those vibes of Apocalypse was the one taking control of the wheel. It was Remy the entire time. Like, I'm not getting it. Maybe if they did it a different way, then I'd feel some type of different way. I love the episode regardless. It was a great episode. I just have some confusion on where we are going, and like the confusion on why Apocalypse chose the vessel he chose. It just doesn't work. It's great. I love it. I love the episode. I'm glad we're kind of getting back to focusing on Gambit, getting back to focusing on Apocalypse. But it still feels like Apocalypse is not a threat still. it doesn't feel like it. Because one, if it is, Apocalypse is still in control of Remy and they're trying to see how that's all going to go, which I still have questions if that is the case or not, which I don't think it is. Maybe that they did take out Apocalypse entirely now. I don't know. That means, one, you killed off Apocalypse off screen because he doesn't have any body to really showcase that it's Apocalypse. So one, no Apocalypse body. Off-screen kill. Two, technically not killed, but technically not doing villainous acts, not being a villain anymore. Like, maybe in the mind, he's being a villain to that one, connection that him and Charles had when Charles was trying to take the soul away from the body, separate the two, and we end up finding out that Apocalypse is inhabiting Remy's body. But still, there is no actions before that shows that is still a threat. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know. Like, I will say they kind of dropped the ball on the Apocalypse. I'm okay saying that. I still think that they can end the season out pretty strong, but I do think we are going to be fighting the X Factor and the X Force team because they do end up teaming up. As you can see down below, they're going to end up teaming up. I think her name is Val. Val kind of put them together, say we have a common enemy. Held up the X-Men card, or I forget what card it was, but it was essentially the Tower. X-Corp, I think that's what they call the X-Men, and Genosha call their X-Team now. I think it's X-Corp, if I'm correct. They want to go after them now, saying we have a common enemy. Oh, the X-Men betrayed you from dealing with Gambit. The X-Men betrayed us because they're working overseas. They're still X-Mening. Let's work together. I don't know why and how Cable would want to work with them. I don't get it, but let's say sure. I don't know. Like, I still don't know, like, where this leads. Like, it's just X-Men fighting X Factor and X-Force together, just fighting against one another, and Apocalypse is just done. Because if I'm being completely honest, we have this shot right here. Gambit, like, Rogue does save Gambit's soul. And this is Apocalypse in the background, I believe, right here. Kind of watching the soul being taken from the body. And I guess in a way you could I guess you could say if there's no soul in the body, there's no control for the mind to, you know what I mean, if the soul is gone. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, in a way you could say that Gambit is, we're just seeing if Gambit recovers. Apocalypse is no more. But then, can you say that this was really an Apocalypse-driven season of Apocalypse being the big bad if we don't end out the season with them fighting Apocalypse? See what I'm saying? There's just questions and things where it's kind of like in promises that they kept that I don't feel like they kind of delivered on. But, I don't know. Hi, everyone. Sorry I couldn't watch the new episode. Was really busy today. No, you're good, Marvel. I'm glad to see you in here, though. We are talking spoilers, just so you know. Enjoyed the episode. Have a little bit of nitpicks and a little bit of confusion, but I really enjoyed the episode. It's nice to get back on track at the end of the day. I do think that there's a chance like they could still end out the season strong because people select a few people. There was screeners last night for the last 2 episodes of X-Men 97, and people said they cried, which makes me feel like Gambit's not gonna live. Because people did say they cried. And people said that it's very emotional. I feel like Gambit's not going to live, which is kind of annoying to think about. To think of the idea that Gambit, we worked so hard to see Gambit, to then have Gambit, to then lose Gambit. That would suck if they are going that route. And I don't know if, like, how I would feel about going forward with X-Men 97, knowing that Gambit's never coming back. That's if. I'm going on the assumption of people saying that it was very emotional. Going in with that idea, because I don't think anything else could really, unless Rogue and Gambit walk away from the team and Gambit does live and they get to get married and be happy, maybe, but then you're doing a show without Rogue and Gambit and X-Men and on the X-Men team. I don't know how people would like that. I mean, yeah, they get their happy ending. Yeah, they get to settle down. Yeah, they get to do all this. But will that be what fans really want? I don't know. Like, would you guys be happy with that if Gambit did live and Rogue and Gambit got to live out their lives away from the team and do their thing? Like, would we be happy with that? I mean, yeah, maybe. I would be happy if Gambit got to live And if they want to do that, that's cool. There's always a chance for them to come back and join the team later down the line if that's where they go. But I can tell you this, I will not be happy if Gambit dies. Like, that would suck, like, officially. Like, I would be upset. I would be annoyed. And I don't think they're going to kill off Rogue either. Like, I'm not even going to, like, put that into the ether because I don't think that they would do that. I don't think so. He said, I will have to watch it tomorrow. I live in Australia. Okay, it truly would suck. What else could happen that could genuinely make people cry? I don't think they'll kill Nathan. I don't think they'll kill Cable. I'm not even gonna give that as an option because I don't think that's what would happen. It has to be either Remy does die and he can't make it through, and and let's just go with the theory that Apocalypse is not there anymore, and Rogue did. But then again, they did say that like they trapped Apocalypse inside Remy, and they're kind of waiting to see what happens. So I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening in the story if Apocalypse is still in there. But let's say he is still in there, and then it's like a mental battle where it's Gambit and Apocalypse, and which one gets to kind of like win that battle. Then maybe that's what they're waiting for. I don't know. I really don't know. But I don't think it's either Remy dies or Gambit and Rogue get to walk out and kind of live their happy ending. It's one of the two that would make someone cry. But since I'm not hearing happy cries, sort of, I'm thinking it might be where Gambit does like die. And I don't know how I feel about that. I really don't know how I feel about that. Like, in reality, we only had Gambit for 2 episodes. That's it. This episode and next week's episode. I hope we get to focus on Gambit a little bit more in next week's episode. But that would suck. I gotta say, if you resurrect him just to kill him, that sucks. We only had him for 1 episode doing things. Like doing... I'm not even going to call them villainous things. What Gambit did in this episode, I don't think was super villainous. Like, he did it at the end of the day for love, for Rogue. And they weren't super, super villainous. Nothing that you couldn't undo. Like, Kurt turned back to normal after, was it a horseman? Gambit turned him into a horseman. Nightcrawler was able to turn back to normal. His brother and ex-girlfriend were able to turn back to normal, and his other team, nothing can be undone. Gambit did nothing that could not have been undone. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I really don't know where they're gonna go in this last episode. Charles did say that Apocalypse is still inside Gambit. Okay, and he won't be held down for long. Okay, so it was just a suppressing agent to kind of wait to see if they can figure out how to save Gambit, I guess. So it wasn't like fully Apocalypse taking over Gambit's soul. They were able to put him in, like, make him dormant inside Gambit and use Gambit's body as the vessel while they figure out what's going on. Okay, thank you so much, Terrell. Thank you for clearing that up. I appreciate you. So this does now give us the question is Gambit going to survive, or are they going to kill off Gambit again? What do we think is going to happen? I'm going with, I hate to say it, I think they're going to kill Gambit off. If people are crying and it's emotional, I feel like they're going to kill Gambit again. I weirdly feel like that. I feel like there's a God. I mean, unless it's happy crying and they end up saving Gambit, I don't know. My hope is they end up saving Gambit. I'm just going to talk about my hopes, not my worries, but my hopes for them to end this season out strong. Because I enjoyed this episode. Like I said, I'm gonna say Apocalypse was not the villain of this episode. He really wasn't. I'm sorry. He didn't do enough in Gambit's body to make me feel like he was controlling Gambit. Long story short, my hopes is that they could separate Apocalypse from Gambit. Apocalypse is now a solid being again and gets to fight the X-Force, X-Factor, and X-Men team, with Gambit being on the X-Men team again, fighting Apocalypse. That is my hopes, as that's how we end out this season. Maybe they fight at first, and then Gambit and Apocalypse separate from each other, and then we got all the X-Men X-Men adjacent by X-Force and X-Factor all come together to take out Apocalypse. And Nathan gets, and I think Nathan should do the final blow, personally, because we've been building up Nathan's destiny and Sabanur's destiny. We need to see it and them clash together finally, where Nathan takes out Apocalypse. It needs to happen. I think Nathan needs to take out Apocalypse. And I don't think it's going to be, officially Apocalypse taking over Remy. I don't think we're going to see that. I think we're going to see, hopefully, Gambit with the X-Men fighting Apocalypse. That's my hopes. Now, if it is they can't save Remy, and it is Apocalypse officially taking over Gambit's body, and Gambit does going to be up, make sure to always check out the YouTube channel. Put on notifications so you always get notified. That's my best advice if you never know, or if you're missing posts, or you don't know when I'm posting. Make sure notifications are put on, okay? And just check the channel out on opening days and see if I have a review up. Or don't be afraid to ask in the Discord if I'm going to put up a review. Long story, most likely I will be putting up a review, but yeah. I thought it was a 10 out of 10 too, Marvel. I love the film. Best live action Spider-Man? I agree 100%. Gambit power was cool. Gambit's powers were cool. They were heightened. You know what I mean? He was able to control people, and I like kind of like the purplish black on the cards. Like, that was sick. Cable powered up by Bishop, please. That would be cool. That would be cool. That would be sick. You said Cable has to be the one to kill him. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Cable needs to kill Apocalypse. If they do not do that, I think it'll be stupid. I think it'll be really dumb if they don't do that. My fear, and another fear, is that they can't save Gambit. The one that's going to have to take out Gambit is going to have to, it's going to be like, almost like you could say, like Wanda having to kill Vision. And Vision knowing that Wanda was the only one that could kill him. And saying goodbye and I love you and blah, 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 blah. I do not want that. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want that to be it. Because at the end of the day, yeah, it would be touching that the one that, like, he would want Rogue to do it. It would be touching. But I don't want that. I want Cable to take out Apocalypse. I'm going with the hopes on this. I think what's going to end up happening, I'm hoping and praying, that it's Gambit separates from Apocalypse and they all fight Apocalypse. And Nathan does the killing blow. Cable does the killing blow. That's what I think is going to happen. That's what I hope is going to happen. Because there could be tears of joy on Gambit coming back and being Gambit, doing his thing, taking on Apocalypse. It might be tears of joy. It might be tears of joy, but I did hear people cry. You could take that two ways of people crying. You could take it two ways. I'm going the latter. I'm going on the happier route where I'm satisfied with the ending, and yeah, we had some side tracks happening this season, some side quests, but we got back on track at the end of the day. Makes me a happy person. You said only Spider-Verse movies are better than Brand New Day. I love the Spider-Verse movies, but I semi-disagree. Like, I love them, but, like, when I think of the mixing the two of it all, I have to put Across the Spider-Verse. I put Across the Spider-Verse at my number 3. Into the Spider-Verse, I think, is my number 4, I think, if I'm correct. But yeah, like, Brand New Day and Spider-Man 2 are, like, the tops for me. But Across the Spider-Verse and Into the Spider-Verse are in my top 4, so. Them killing Gambit doesn't even make sense, though. That's what I'm saying, is that I hope that's not what ends up happening. Well, I mean, they could say it makes sense if Apocalypse officially takes over Gambit's body. They could be like, oh, it's justified. So that's how Gambit gets killed. You know what I mean? Like, they could say that, but I don't think that's what's going to end up happening, hopefully. Spider-Man 2 is better than Brand New Day. I disagree personally, but that's just me. And I grew up with Spider-Man 2, and I disagree. Like, when it comes to a perfect Spider-Man film, Brand New Day was it. Because you gotta think of comics of it all, Lawrence. When you tap into the comics on how Spider-Man truly supposed to be, the world he's supposed to be in, it's Brand New Day. We can't let nostalgia get us. Like, I will like nostalgia, and it has a play in why I think Spider-Man 2 is in my top 2. Is the second my second favorite Spider-Man movie. Nostalgia has a huge play for sure. Um but and it's not a bad thing if it's at a number 2 either, bro. It's not a bad thing. But we got to admit, sometimes you just got to admit it. What about Beyond the Spider-Verse? I grew up with Toby movies, but I disagree with you. JTF, you said laughing. Spider-Man didn't even have a job. We can't let that be the only factor. Or his real villains. He had Scorpion, nothing to do with nostalgia. Spider-Man 2 is the greatest. I mean, but it does though. Like, I'm it does though. Like, if you grew up with Spider-Man 2, and it is the greatest, and I don't think putting it at a number 2 takes away for how great it is. But when you really look at Spider-Man Brand New Day, it was a culmination of just loving Spider-Man and being a Spider-Man fan, and it was a love project for Spider-Man fans. It is number 1. Like, that's how I'm just gonna end it there. But yeah, recency bias, no, definitely not. Doctor Oct it was wait Doctor wait Doc Ock fight was better. Tobey Maguire Spider-Man generation, and I grew up with those movies, but Tom exceeded Tobey and Miles in Brand New Day. Like, how is he affording his tech? Punisher, that's how probably. Punisher, that's how probably. I mean, yeah, but also Peter Smart, he can make tech. He was a dumpster diver. He can make tech. Also, he's probably still had some of tech from before. And also, I mean, yeah, I mean, he had a Delmars t-shirt on in one of the scenes. And I know that people assumed we were gonna see him working at Delmars, but he could have been working there. I don't know. Gene's not even his villain, and they rarely interact. Lol. I'm just saying, if you are say it's more like the comics, it's not. You're telling me everything how Peter was acting, the way the movie looked, the way this is probably the most Peter Parker's ever Peter Parkered. You're talking about the suit. You're talking about kind of the world of him interacting with Punisher and Hulk and all that. That's not comics. Those panel shots pulled straight from the comics, and we're getting them in live action. Dude, I don't know. Choreography was way better too. The fighting was way better. And at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, like the bigger villain of the movie was, I don't want to get into spoilers, but the bigger villain of the movie was a certain somebody, and that was the villain of the film. And yeah, at first it felt like someone was a villain, but they weren't really the villain of the film. There was a bigger villain that Peter had to face. And yeah, like, you know what I mean, and give a good and give a speech to on doing the right thing. Also, Peter showed his high IQ more in Brand New Day than Toby movies. Exactly. Emotional part is accurate, and the scenes are from the games and more montage. Toby was a generational Spider-Man, but I think that Tom is better after that movie. That's what I'm saying, is that we got to admit so, all right, I'm moving along. I don't even know why we're talking about this in here when this is a X-Men stream. Like we got to stay on task at hand. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? I get it, it's your opinion. If you want to think that, that's cool, but like Tom is a better Spider-Man and a better Peter Parker. At this point, yes. Like at this point, yes. And we gotta admit it. I love Spider-Man too. But we gotta admit it, bro. But I get it. You know what I mean? Which is what you think. That's cool. They are doing. What do you mean? Brand New Day is quite literally Peter Parker. No more from the comics. You said it. What do you mean? They are doing a new take. It worked for the movies and X-Men set up. Well, that too. Like it was brilliant too. Like especially there's some great stories coming with Peter as well. Now because he did something in the film that equates to X-Men, which I don't want to talk about too much. Tom had help every movie, but Toby was solo. It's different though. Like yeah, but it's different. Like Toby also wasn't a child either. Like he was a kid. There was more feeling of how Spider-Man was supposed to be in Tom's movies because the age was accurate. You know what I mean? Of how he needed help and how he had to grow. If you could really think about it, the message of Brand New Day was that you don't have to do things alone. You don't have to do things alone. And this was Spider-Man really being Spider-Man. This was Tom's introduction to him being Spider-Man. This was his first film being Spider-Man. Like we're in a new age of his era. And the message was that you don't have to do it alone. So it's like you can't compare like the two. But all right, guys, let's move on. Let's move on. Yeah, but what I want to know, what does everybody think is going to happen in the next episode of X-Men 97? Yeah, great Spider-Man. My personally favorite Spider-Man is Insomniac Games 1. Yeah, great Spider-Man. He is great. Lawrence, that only happens because Tom actually lives in a broader Marvel universe. Not saying it's bad, but Spider-Man 2 is more solid. Well, that's cool. All right, guys. What do we think is going to happen in the next episode? Do we think Gambit's going to live? I'm curious. Do we think Gambit's going to live or do we think he's going to die? I need to know. What do we think is going to happen? Do you think those are tears of joy or tears of sadness? Final Battle Gambit is brought back to the good side. Onslaught setup. Yeah, I feel like since we don't really know what's going on with the Eric of it all, and I see that being something that they set up in like I wouldn't say maybe like end credit, but like the final scene of the show, possibly. Yes, Onslaught. Yeah, I hope Gambit doesn't die. I'm right there with you. I hope he doesn't die either. I'm hoping. My hopes are is that they save him. He's on the side with the X-Men, X-Force, X-Factor taking on Apocalypse. Nathan Cable doing the final blow. That's what I'm hoping for. Yes. Yeah. Vision Quest is in October. We will be covering it. Depending on what time it drops. And if it's not, well, if it's all at once. Well, if Vision Quest drops all at once, watch party. If Vision Quest drops every week, an episode every week, we'll be doing pre-show, after party, spoiler discussion streams. I'll still do reactions for Patreon, etc. But if it drops all at once, watch party over on Twitch. Yeah, because doing a stop stream pre-show, watch all the episodes, stop stream. You guys will be waiting for me to do my to come on super late to do my spoiler talk. So I would watch it with you guys on Twitch. That's what we would do, like how we did for episodes of Daredevil Born Again, season 2, stuff like that. Eyes of Wakanda, etc. But this was touching though. I like this moment where Rogue saved Gambit's soul. I thought that was very touching. How like he wasn't absorbed by Apocalypse. There's still some hope for Gambit yet. Having Rogue kind of locking Apocalypse in Gambit's body until they figure out what to do. Or in Gambit's mind, or I don't even know where he would really be. I would say mind because Gambit's the soul, so he would be in the mind Apocalypse. Unless it's both of their souls kind of clashing, I guess you could say. I don't know. They didn't really specify. What's this shot right here? Oh, this was cool. This was Remy. Was it Horseman Gambit about to fight Professor X? That was really really cool. I like that shot. That was sick. I do like Gambit's look though. He looks really really cool. We can go to X real quick. I'd like for it to all at once. I don't want to go until my birthday or GTA 6. Well, GTA 6 isn't until December. So it wouldn't go until your birthday. If your birthday is in if your birthday is around GTA 6, which is in December, I believe, it won't go until then. It won't go until then. I think it's in December. I think it's in, or it's either in November, but I don't think it'll go into GTA 6. At least I think GTA 6 is in December. I don't know, but I don't think it's going to go that long. And I also think it's only going to be like 6 episodes, 7 episodes at best. I don't think it's a 9 episode series. So, do you still read new Marvel comics? I don't have time. I have a couple of comics from a year to 2 years ago. I still haven't read. Because finding time for me to read comics is very hard when I'm practically I don't just really live my own life. I practically live my life, a part of my life for my parents and helping them up at the house. Like I moved out like I want to say like a month ago now, and I'm still going up to my parents' place cleaning for them because my brothers and sisters just aren't wanting to help. So I don't really have time to really read comics as much as I would love to. I don't really have time for it. But I'll still pick them up, of course. I'll still pick them up just to have them. And then whenever I ever get a chance to read, I like to try to read them, but it's hard. GTA 6 is in November. Is November 19th. Yeah, I don't think Vision Quest is going to go until November 19th. Especially if it's early October, I don't think it's going to go until November, like November 19th. So I think we have some. I also think Vision Quest, I believe, is 6 episodes. I don't think it's 9 or 10. At least I don't think. Vision Quest Marvel. Eight episodes. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna go until November 19th. I don't think so. But even if it is, that's fine. I mean, I'm not playing GTA 6, so I really I couldn't care. I could care less if GTA comes out around the same time. At least I don't have any plans to play GTA 6. I'll say that. Love Marvel, but the old comics are better, especially Spider-Man. But Daredevil and Punisher comics are really good though. Oh, 100%. From what I know, Daredevil comics are one of the most bought comics from Marvel still to this day. It's great. I haven't really heard too many bad things about any Daredevil comics that have come out in the past couple of years, at least to my knowledge. October 14th isn't that early though. Well, do we have a date? I thought we just knew it was in October. Do we actually have a date? Because I don't think we have a date, do we? What the? Why isn't that? Oh, October 14th. We do. I didn't even know we had a release date. Okay. If they just show Vision Quest and Doomsday at D23, will people be mad? I don't think we're going to get any Doomsday stuff at D23, personally. I think they're going to focus on Vision Quest, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and maybe some other, maybe an X-Men cast announcement. I really don't think they're going to be focusing on Doomsday too much, personally. But who knows, maybe. I mean, I think people would be mad if we didn't get an X-Men cast, especially since it's ramping up with people thinking that, Marvel Studios is locking down the cast leading to D23. I think there's a chance people could be mad if all we get is Vision Quest and Doomsday, which I don't think that's going to happen. I think Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man would be shoved in there, season 2 of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man and Doomsday. I would be fine with, but I would be shocked if we don't get a cast announcement for X-Men. And announcement, some X-Men, but nothing else. I would be happy with that if that's what we got. I think we'll get Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Would you play GTA 6 if a friend gifted it to you or it was on physical? If someone gifted it to me, yes. Am I going to go out on my way and buy it? No, I'm not doing that. Especially because they're not doing a disc, to my knowledge. X-Men and Spider-Man are their main sellers, so they should be good on Mutant Saga. Oh, I think so. They'll be good. Yeah. I mean, there are Destin, apparently I'm hearing, is going to be, might be helming the next trilogy for Spider-Man. Might be doing the next 2 films. Or maybe even the rest of the Spider-Man films until we get Miles. So, yeah, it should be interesting. The new Daredevil run by uh was it Stephanie Phillips? Oh, Stephanie Phillips is good so far. Oh, really? Okay, good, cool. They didn't announce much last year. I can't remember last year. I think that the new Chip Zdarsky run is good. BTW, why would they show an X-Men cast announcement, which is more far away than Doomsday instead of an actual Doomsday part of the panel? Well, for starters, they already showed something for Doomsday, a new trailer for Doomsday. I don't think they're going to show any more that us as like the audience or like as the fans haven't seen. I don't think they're going to show any more. I don't think they're going to show a scene. I don't think they're going to do it. I really don't think so. I think they are going to be covering Vision Quest, dropping a trailer for them, maybe maybe an official trailer. They'll drop one. I think they're going to show us a trailer for Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man because these are the shows coming up in the next couple of months. Vision Quest and Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 2. I see them showing a cast because X-Men, the first X-Men movie is starting production early next year. They're going to start filming next year. I think in January or February, they're going to start filming. So the cast would get announced now, especially with a lot of casts being confirmed now. Like Samara Weaving is Emma Frost. Was it another person that was confirmed? I'm not going to talk about it too much because I don't know the ramifications on something else. But in a lot of rumors coming out of people being cast and they're trying to get them locked down, it would be the place that wasn't San Diego Comic-Con because of a certain thing that needed to had released to confirm something. Yeah, they just needed to wait for confirmation, but now that something is out, they can now confirm some things. So I think D23 would be the place to confirm a cast for said movie that's next year. So, because mind you, your point exactly, like you were saying, like, oh, like why would they talk about something that isn't releasing until next year when Doomsday's, they do it all the time. But also they told us who's the new T'Challa, and they gave us a month of when Black Panther 3 is coming out. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like that combats what you said of like, oh, why would they talk about something that's in the future? They do it all the time. So I think, yeah, I think we are getting a cast announcement for X-Men. I think that we're going to get the official cast. I think it's happening. Um, Destin turned down Avengers Doomsday and got Spider-Man was a shocker. I did hear about that. Makes sense. I mean, that's a big, huge film. Spider-Man's a little bit more contained, and for him, it's a little bit more personal because he really loves Spider-Man. So I think that's why he didn't want to do a big ensemble. Even for Spider-Man comics, though, it is mostly bad after One More Day. Okay. Last year they did okay. They did Doomsday, um, Daredevil, Fantastic Four, Disneyland, Marvel Cruise add on. That's a lot though. That sounds great. So I must have really enjoyed last year's D23. Okay. Like that's big stuff right there. Fantastic Four, Doomsday, Daredevil, Born Again. Like that's a lot, bro. Like that's a lot. Those are heavy hitters of the year. Like that's a lot. It wasn't. He works better on more emotional grounded movies like Spidey, BDW. They could just confirm more stuff for Doomsday, like when they confirmed Catherine Newton as STCC. Yeah, maybe we could get more cast, but I'm not counting on it that we'll get any more cast announcements. I don't think we will, personally, but we'll have to wait and see. Who knows? I'm I'm not expecting much besides the cast and existing stuff. I mean, yeah, as you should. I don't think we're getting any more shows announced. I don't think we're going to be getting any other movies announced besides X-Men that we know is coming. We know Black Panther 2, we knew that was coming. Or Black Panther 3, we knew that was coming. I don't think they're going to touch Secret Wars because you're treading dangerous territory where like we don't really know besides Shuri and M'Baku, they're surviving Doomsday, and which means they would survive Secret Wars. They don't want to confirm anything else of people that are going to be living and dying because we don't know who's going to live or die in Doomsday. We don't know. They're not going to want to touch anything that gives away what's happening in Doomsday, or yeah, and that's automatically what would happen if you talk about Secret Wars. That touches Doomsday stuff that we haven't even seen yet. They want to be very careful because they're treading dangerous waters at that point. They really are. Also, I heard that they actually are talking about Doomsday at their panel. Okay, well, I think they're gonna tread very lightly if they're talking anything Doomsday. Did you heard that Spider-Man officially made 1 billion? Yeah, yeah. So if I was a betting man, Secret Wars, Doomsday, X-Men cast, Spider-Man animation, Vision Quest, and Disneyland Thanos ride update, probably. Scratch out the Secret Wars because I don't think they're gonna touch that. I really don't think they are. They could confirm already rumored stuff like Ryan Reynolds, Tobey Maguire. They're not gonna confirm that. Are you out of your mind? So like they're not gonna confirm that. They're not gonna confirm that Hugh Jackman and Tobey Maguire in Doomsday. They're not gonna confirm that. If they confirm that, they're taking away big shock factor. Those are rumored right now, and I think they should stay rumored until we get the film. Because if they would tell us majorly who's in the film if they told us that. Also, by the way, mind you, they never really technically confirmed, I think, that Ryan Reynolds was in the film. I saw nothing from their word of mouth, especially the panel, that confirmed that Ryan Reynolds was in Doomsday. For sure. They definitely will not tell us that like Hugh Jackman, Toby, they're not going to say that they're in the film. I don't even think they're going to confirm Halle Berry or any of them. I don't think they're going to do that. Lawrence, they can't Disneyland because of animation. I don't know what that's about. I mean, they could talk about Disneyland stuff. I see why not. But who knows? I don't think they're going to hint at it either, bro. I really don't think so. I think excitement is fine, but we can't let the excitement take away from how Marvel markets about a huge film like this. They're not going to even hint to Hugh Jackman and them being in this film. They won't even hint to it. Like you know what I mean? Like I get we're excited. I'm not a betting man, but I'm gonna bet on the idea that Hugh Jackman and Toby are actually in this film. But they're not gonna hint towards it. They will not do that. Maybe the only hint, which I don't even want to talk about, is at the end of Brand New Day of a possible another Spider-Man showing up. I'm not going to say any more than that because I don't know who here has officially seen Spider-Man. Like they did with No Way Home, or they could even show them in the trailer. I don't think they're going to show them in the trailers, and they didn't even hint to Andrew or Toby in No Way Home, unless you want to say they're villains. And that one shot that no one covered up by accident of a lizard getting kicked in the face. That's about, and they didn't even intentionally do that either. So, yeah. Ryan is heavily rumored for the movie, though. He is heavily rumored because he did show up at D20 at San Diego Comic-Con, but there was no confirmation for sure that he was in the film. But yeah, that was a rumor, but I don't think we're getting anything else. Like, I don't think we're getting anything else. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, I forgot the name. Well, no, yeah, I'm very excited for Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 2. Sorry, I meant they can't do Disneyland Thanos ride because of Universal. Why? Because of Universal. At least one of them, because they need hype to be at Infinity War levels. Hype's already there. Marvel, the hype is already there. I'm sorry, they don't need to do any more. I'm gonna be honest, they didn't even need to market the film. People would have showed up. It's another Avengers film. We're showing up. We're showing up. They don't need to do any more. They don't. They really, really don't. All we need to do now is go sit in the theater. That's all we need to do. The movie's breaking records. Like it's the screenings are sold out. Like trust. They don't need to build any more hype. They can wait. They can. I live in California. We have a whole Marvel park. Oh, I forgot about that. The ride has been in development for some time. No, they did hint in No Way Home. They didn't though. What hint are you talking about in No Way Home? Sony leaked it with that one whole scene on the Statue of Liberty. I'm confused. Like them standing there, that wasn't them doing it intentionally. Like that must have been a leak. Like someone leaked into Sony and got that stuff. That wasn't Sony doing it themselves. They can't do Marvel in Florida besides Guardians of the Galaxy. That's so trash. I hate them for that because like I want a Disneyland. I want a Marvel park in Florida so bad because I live closer to Florida than I do California. I want them to bring it to Florida so bad. But they are competing with Dune ain't shit. I'm sorry, dude. Dune isn't anything. Dune is not doing Marvel numbers. Can we all agree on that? We People are living in La La Land if they think Dune is doing Doomsday numbers. I'm sorry, it's not. It's not. It's not doing Dune. Dune isn't going to have the replay value that Doomsday is going to have. Dune doesn't have fans that are going to be seeing this 4 to 5 times. Like, you see what I'm saying? It doesn't equate. It does not equate. I haven't seen any Dune hype at all. I haven't seen any hype for Dune. And the people that are saying Doomsday, that's Dune fans trying to kind of equate so they're in the talking space. I want Japan to get a Marvel too. That would be cool. Paris and California have Marvel. Lucky them. Lucky them. I wish Florida would get like a Marvel land, bro. And Disney. And was it Disney World? I wish they would do it. Remember when Andrew was leaked talking to someone? Well, that wasn't that was someone getting into the Sony, like hacking into Sony and pulling that. That was not Sony themselves granting that leak. It was not Sony doing it. Hong Kong that would be cool. On the Statue of Liberty, and they were all having a conversation. Yeah, that was someone hacking into Sony. That wasn't Sony being like, "Yo, let's give this out, guys." Like, no. Doomsday is a fun idea, though, I will admit. Well, yeah, it's a fun idea because the whole Barbenheimer and all that, Like, yeah. But at the end of the day, this isn't Marvel fans making the whole Doomsday. This is Dune fans making Doomsday because they want to be in the talking. They want to be the talk of the town, but I'm sorry they're not. Like, it's just Dune. Dune ain't it. If people are excited for Dune, that's cool, but you have to what I will say is Dune is Oscar bait. Dune is what you do as a movie you do to get awards at the Oscars. I could care less about the Oscars, to be completely blunt. I don't think it's fair that the Oscars don't do a lot of Marvel awards because they don't consider them film worthy or whatever. When let's be real, Marvel is saving the box office. Marvel movies save the box office and movies in general. This year, I will say it's been a bit of a balance, which is great. But Doomsday numbers are gonna be tenfold what Dune's numbers are. Like, it's not like just wait until Doomsday's opening weekend. Just wait, bro. Like, it's gonna be like it's gonna be crazy. Like, I'm sorry, Dune is popular. I haven't seen Dune being popular. I'm sorry, I haven't seen it. Maybe for book readers, isn't it like a book or something? I don't know. It was still a hint. Yeah, I guess, but it wasn't as. It was a hint on the leaker standpoint, but it wasn't like from Marvel themselves or Sony themselves. In every movie that Dune won and going up against within the same month, Marvel movies, they end up getting squashed by side of Marvel movie in the box office. So that's what I'm saying is that Marvel always does it. Dune is popular. To be fair, though, Dune is IMAX locked. Who cares? Marvel. If anything, look at it this way. Did Spider-Man and again I'm getting like did Spider-Man Brand New Day need IMAX to hit a billion? No. And that's Spider-Man Brand New Day. Doomsday, which is a bigger film than Spider-Man, and is going to be a bigger film than Spider-Man, does not need IMAX screens to do huge numbers. And IMAX thinking that they are the head honcho of film, and if you don't have our screens, you're not going to be hitting a billion or hit a million or hit a whatever. They are high. They are. I would love to know what drug they are smoking for them to think that we need their screens to do big numbers. It's not. It's not it. It's not it at all. Locked for like the first 3 weeks of release, but it will hit 800 million to a billion. Marvel is more mainstream. Wait, what's hitting billion? Are we talking about Doomsday or Dune? Because I don't think Dune's hitting billion. I don't think that shit's gonna hit at all. Marvel is mainstream, 100% it's mainstream, bro. The Oscars are like Martin Scorsese if they were a whole award academy. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I could care less about that dude too. I think Tom Cruise or some other celebrities that said they are thankful for Marvel, thankful for Marvel keeping movie theaters open and saving them during COVID. That's what I'm saying. What do you think about the Lord of the Rings movies? My favorite trilogy, in my opinion. I don't really like the Lord of the Rings movies personally. I watched them not too long ago. My favorite is the second film, but I didn't like the last one. The first one was all right. I like the second one more. I hate Dune though. I hate Dune though. I hate Dune too, bro. Like, I think it's overhyped. The Odyssey is the Odyssey is the Dune of the summer. Oh yeah, Odyssey was great. Like, even if you put Odyssey up against Dune, who's winning? Odyssey, of course. Anybody that says Dune's winning over Odyssey, again, what I would love to know what you are inhaling. Like, Dune will do like them. Wait, I'm confused. Dune will do like them. What do you mean like them? I'm confused. Like, it's Dune will not hit a billion. If we think that's gonna hit, it will not do that. Spider-Man: Brand New Day, 1 billion in the box office in 4 days. IMAX tomorrow. It will be available on IMAX. It will be available in IMAX. Avengers Doomsday will be do fine. That's what I'm saying, is that it'll be fine. I think eventually Avengers Doomsday will go into IMAX after Dune does their screenings. And Doomsday will do more because it will be put in IMAX. I think if anything, Doomsday made the smarter play because everybody's gonna want. You know what's happening with Spider-Man right now? It didn't have IMAX screens. It hit 1 billion in 4 days in its opening weekend, and now it's getting IMAX screens at the end of the Odyssey. And the Odyssey was in theaters longer actually than I think Dune is supposed to be in theaters. So now everybody that knows that that Spider-Man's going to go in IMAX, everybody's going to want to go see Spider-Man again in IMAX. It's going to do more numbers. It's going to happen for Doomsday. I'm telling you. Well, no, because it didn't release on the same day as the Odyssey, and Spider-Man is more popular than the Avengers, even though Avengers Doomsday will be a bigger film. Both. I don't think both are going to be hitting 1 billion. I don't think that at all. How come you don't like Lord of the Rings though? It's just not it's not for me. It wasn't for me. The whole elves and stuff and all that, or not even elves, or I don't even what are they called? Was it? Oh yeah, elves are in Lord of the Rings. What am I talking about? It just wasn't for me. It just wasn't for me. Me personally, I like the Hobbit films more than Lord of the Rings, personally, but I didn't care too much for the Lord. I can respect it, but like I didn't really care much for it. I thought people kind of, I don't know. I think people build it up too much. I didn't really care for it. Um, you know what's funny? Spider-Man almost crushed the Odyssey in like in those few days. Exactly. In terms of box office. But Doomsday not getting IMAX for the first 3 weeks means that what it could have made more. It still could make a ton. IMAX does not equate. The IMAX screen does not equate on the movie being really really good and then people going out. Look at Spider-Man. It's the same thing. Yeah, Spider-Man's a huge character. He's generational, but he's in Marvel. He's still in Marvel, and also one of the biggest films coming out this year is Avengers Doomsday, and those tickets sold out quick as hell for Doomsday, and they're gonna continuously like sell out, especially for good seats. In terms of biggest movies of the year, it's Doomsday. Then I would say Spider-Man was the two biggest Marvel movies of the year. The IMAX screen doesn't equate. It really doesn't equate on if the movie, like if Dune's gonna do better than Doomsday. That just doesn't make any sense. There's more benefiting Doomsday than there is benefiting Dune in the box office. I'm sorry. It's true. Look at the Odyssey box office. That will give you how much Dune will make. Well, no, because the Odyssey was based on as much more popular story from long. Oh yeah, exactly. That too. Like Odyssey's on another level. Like that's Odyssey, the story in general is used in today's terms of things. Like of course the Trojan horse for a virus online, and like it's used for kind of like every kind of like to build up any story form. Like it's totally different than Dune. So if you put them up together, Odyssey's going to make more than that. If you even put them up against one another, it made more. It was going to make more. He's also Sony though. Yeah. Besides the box office, the movie could be affected in the movie's bad. Not defending Dune. I don't. Do you? Real quick question. Does anybody think Doomsday is going to be bad? Like, does anybody really out here think Doomsday is going to be bad? Can we all agree that both will do well? Oh yeah, they'll both do well, but Doomsday will do better. Like, I'll agree that they'll both do well, but I think Doomsday is gonna go crazy. I think people are really underestimating Doomsday, which is really weird to me. I can't wrap my head around that. I can agree with what you're saying, Marvel. I can agree with that. Yeah, ain't gonna hit a billion though. I think it could be mid like multiversum. All right, that's where I get my log off. Lawrence, you lost me there, man. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. You think it's gonna be can be mid like multiverse of madness? Like that's I can't with that. I can't, bro. Exactly. Pop culture. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Won't matter with pre-sale tickets. It won't matter on second week. Well, I mean, second week I think is gonna do very well for the people that couldn't get tickets the first week. It's possible if they just stuff cameo. Infinity War didn't need cameos because it was Infinity War. They didn't need it. Doomsday, which is dealing in the multiverse world, is gonna have cameos. I really do feel like I'm gonna be honest. I told my sister this. Marvel fans, or fans in general, are listening to the people that have not been paying attention in this saga. That can't the cameos make sense, and the cameos are characters of fellow worlds from fellow universes that built up before the MCU was even a thing. What do people want them to do in this film? It's called the Multiverse Saga. Do you not want them to pull from different universes to then do Secret Wars, which is what you need to do is utilize. If anything, it was a blessing that we got all these other solo films and trilogies before we got the MCU, where they could do said stories where they have all the other alternative worlds to then utilize those movies to utilize those worlds to do Secret Wars. I really feel like some people have missed the plot here on really what the hell we were doing in this multiverse saga. And they're fun cameos. They would be there, but they also build to the story. They might be cameos in themselves because we've seen them from other movies, but they build to the story of what we're trying to tell here. And if you go in with that notion of, oh, it's just going to be cameos, you're going to miss the idea of the plot of the story, that they're not just cameos. They build to the plot, and they said are cameos, but that makes sense though, because they come from other things. Hence the word cameo, but it builds to the story. Multiverse of Madness, yeah, they were cameos, but they built to the story of fellow worlds that then builds to incursions to what we are doing right now. I really, like I said, I think it's casuals, but also people listening to other people that can't make up their own minds. I do feel like we are getting to the point of society where people just can't make up their own minds about anything, and sometimes don't pay attention. So I don't think it's going to be a cameo fest for cameo's sake. I think it makes sense. I think people will say that, and I guarantee people will say that, of course, regardless, even if the movie's great. Oh, it's just a cameo fest. And it's like, were you really paying attention to the story, and were you really paying attention to what we've been building up here? Because think about it, there is no multiverse without these other movies. You couldn't really pull from anything. Yeah, technically you could have just recasted people and put them over there, but there would be no attachment. If anything, Kevin is utilizing the past years of Marvel before we've gotten to the MCU to utilize said movies and characters and actors who played these said characters in those movies to put them in these worlds, so there's stakes, so we feel something when we lose some of these characters. We will feel something. We'll get a glimpse of nostalgia because we've watched said movies. We've loved those movies. Yeah, they weren't perfect, but we love parts of them. We love the characters that played those said characters, or actors that played those said characters. It builds up. I just feel like we've lost the plot. I feel like, and that's why that's why I hate the internet. I mean, sometimes I really do hate X, because there are people like this over there, and I can't stand it. I really can't stand it. If it's bad, we will only care because of nostalgia. That's it. That's not it though. We like it's not one. It won't be bad because it's the story mixed with the nostalgia, which it is nostalgia. Like yeah, but like it's hard to word this. Where I feel like people are gonna understand this, but it makes sense if you've watched Marvel movies when you were younger, or just in general. You're gonna be like, oh, I saw that person. That's nostalgia. Necessarily, you don't even need nostalgia. Isn't just like when you were young and you grew up with the movies. It's the idea that you watched the movie and you're like, oh, that's nostalgic. I watched that movie like whatever ago or whatever, or like the other day or something like that. Like you know what I mean, like it builds to it. It's like we can't have these movies without the movies that came before. It just wouldn't work. It's if anything, it's beautiful that he is pulling from these things, and it makes sense via the multiverse to then pull and stuff. If anything, you gotta respect it, and you gotta be like, that's impressive that Kevin Feige was able to do this and utilize in a movie why the reasoning is why we are pulling these said characters from said movies from years ago here to grant a bigger story to tell. I think that Doomsday won't be a bad movie at all, and people just Doom posting because RDJ is certain. Yeah, RDJ and certain things. I get that, but I think it's going to tell a decent story for us to care. Exactly. If it's bad, it'll just be nostalgia. Like I'm just being devil advocate. Don't get don't get upset if it can be good or mid. I don't think it will be bad though. People thought Brand New Day had too many characters, but now that they saw it, yeah, they like the movie. Well, that I just I want people to just stop jumping to conclusions. I feel like people do that a lot, and it's just it's just annoying. And my takeaway also is this too, and I do this with DC. I don't I don't care what's happening over at DC. That's why I don't talk about it. I'm a DC fan, but I don't care what's going on with James and his universe. Respectfully, I just don't care. If other people care about it, cool. I don't care. And that's why you guys don't see me making videos talking about it or doing anything because it's just not for me. I wish people would do that. If Marvel's not for you and if you don't like what they're doing or if you haven't been paying attention to what they're doing and you're just spewing nonsense saying, "Oh, this doesn't make sense. Oh, this is whatever" because you're not keeping up and you're not watching, move along. It's just like one of those things where it's like move along. It's like clearly because at that point it's like you don't have nothing to back it up. It's like just move along. That's my take on it personally. Like I get it though. You're not. I'm not saying you're like you're doing it, Lawrence, or anything. Like, but it's the point of just like frustration. Like honestly, of just like when I'm scrolling and I hear this crap, it's just it's annoying, bro. It's really annoying because it's kind of like it's rage bait at the end of the day. Let's say honestly, it's rage bait. People are doing this to get people upset. That's exactly it. And I think that's dumb in itself that people spend time on the internet just to rage bait, just to get clicks and views. People do that on YouTube. Clicks, views. Say said questions of oh like it's gonna be cameo festo this and that to get to rage bait people and it's so annoying. It's just I hate that. But yeah, guys, it's 12:18. I gotta get out of here. I will catch you guys this Friday for this Friday's chill stream. Um, we'll be back next Wednesday for the finale of X-Men 97. Of course, my stream will start at 11 a.m. EST as always to talk about episode 9 finale. I'm trying to think of anything else. We don't really have too much besides our chill streams going forward. And then we have D23 on August 14th, which my stream is already set. It's up. It's ready. Stay tuned for that. I'm actually going to Steel City Con this Friday or Saturday. I'm not sure when. I'm going to be doing a vlog, toy hunt, etc. Stay tuned for that. I'm not looking for anything in particular, so it's going to be interesting to see if I find anything. Not saying I'll buy anything, but I'll probably like show you guys around, show you guys if they had anything new and such. I'm not meeting anybody at Steel City Con. I'm just going with my buddy Jamie. As of right now, I think we are going on Saturday, but I might be going by myself on Friday. I'm not sure. He said he has to figure out money and stuff before, and I told him to let me know. It will depend on what day I'm going. If I'm going Saturday, if I'm going on Friday. If I go on Friday, I'll be back before the chill stream, and if I get anything, I might show you guys just on stream what I got. So we'll have to wait and see. If it's on Saturday I go, then it's just going to be a normal chill stream, and I won't have anything to show off. So I'll keep you guys posted on whatever I decide to do. Just keep a lookout on the channel. Subscribe if you are new. If this is your first time here for the spoiler discussion that we had for X-Men 97 episode 7, welcome to Zach's Hero HQ. We talk Marvel, we talk movies, we unbox figures, we unbox just a whole bunch of other collectibles and such. We do reactions here. Welcome. I'm trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. We are almost there to 2,000 subscribers. That is the big goal right now. So if you are new, please subscribe. I'm trying to hit that goal. And yeah, guys, like I said, stay tuned for my vlog coming up this Friday or Saturday. But as always, guys, hope everybody has a great day, a safe day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.